We're focusing on the Telangana tangle. President Pranab Mukherjee has given 7 more days to the Andhra Pradesh Assembly to discuss and debate the draft Telangana bill in the House before returning it to the centre. The AP Assembly now has time till the 30th of January to take a decision on the bill. The decision to extend the January 23rd deadline has been taken by the President following a request from the Andhra Pradesh government. As per norms, the AP reorganisation bill now has to be returned by January 30th, with or without its views. The government in Parliament. Telangana bill in Parliament in the coming session beginning the 5th of February.
Kiran Kumar Reddy often likes to say that the match is not over till the last ball is bowled. Now that the Andhra Pradesh Assembly has been given time till the 30th of January to discuss the reorganisation bill, all eyes are on the Chief Minister on whether he indulges in some political pinch hitting.
Meanwhile, speculation is rife that Chief Minister Kiran Kumar Reddy might not continue in the Congress, and the Chief Minister himself gave more wind to that rumour by expressing his regret at being in the hot seat when the bifurcation looms large over the state.
అటువంటిది నా దురదృష్టంగా ఈ రోజు ముఖ్యమంత్రిగా ఉండటం నా దురదృష్టమేమో అని నేను భావిస్తున్నాను.
For more in this story, we're being joined by our editor South T.S. Sudhir. We're also being joined by political analyst Parakala Prabhakar. I want to come to you first, Sudhir. You're in a house that's sharply divided on the Telangana issue. How important do you think is this discussion, the bifurcation bill?
Well, for the past 42 days, there is a discussion which is taking place in the Andhra Pradesh Assembly. Of course, the early days, there were protests by both Telangana as well as the Seemandra MLAs who wanted a resolution in favour of United Andhra Pradesh to be tabled first. But for the past few days, we have been seeing some discussion. Yesterday, the Chief Minister Kiran Kumar Reddy started speaking on the floor of the House. But essentially, even the next 7 days extension that has been granted by President Pranab Mukherjee, not really likely to achieve much. What everyone will be interested in knowing is what is going to be the next political move of Chief Minister Kiran Kumar Reddy, because all along he has been promising that he will do something on the floor of the House, perhaps quit in a half, essentially to make himself into some kind of a hero as far as the Seemandra region is concerned. Now, whether he actually steps out of the Congress, because he realizes, along with his Congress MPs and MLAs, that staying in the Congress, contesting the next elections on the hand symbol would be committing political harakiri. So whether Kiran Kumar Reddy actually goes ahead and floats his own party is something which Andhra Pradesh would be keenly looking at. Apart from that, the discussion on the floor of the House only of academic interest, because it is Parliament where the voting will take place. Telangana MLAs here completely opposed to the idea of voting in the Andhra Pradesh Assembly, and they only want a sense of the House to be communicated to the President of India.
Right, all that's required is a sense of the House. We're also being joined by a political analyst, Mr. Prabhakar. You know, the centre has already decided to table this bill in the next session of Parliament. Where does this leave the grassroots politicians then?
No, I think what is happening now in the Andhra Pradesh Assembly is very crucial, because it is sending a very strong message to the centre. It is, of course, a divided house, as Sudhir had said. Very strong positions are taken by the Telangana members of the Legislative Assembly, as well as the members of the Assembly who are from the coastal and the Rayalaseema regions. But it is the sense of the House, and if the sense of the House is very strongly expressed against the division, one has to wait and see what kind of a decision the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, the Parliament, both the houses of Parliament will take. Will Parliament take a decision which is completely contrary to the kind of strongly expressed view of the Assembly? If so, that is going to be probably for the first time in the history of post-independent India. I have a feeling that the President's consent to extend the time for 7 days is to see, buy some more time, number one, and also to see if the government of India, the Union government, can have some kind of a rethink. The other thing is that if the bill, or if the bill is debated in the House till the 30th, and after that, will the Union government really have time to refer it to the Law Ministry, carry forward the amendments or suggestions, or take into account the sense of the House, and then redraft the bill and put it forward in both the houses of Parliament? I think there is going to be a huge difficulty, and if the centre wants to do a job which is going to be a rushed job, I think it will be very, very difficult for them to get the House and other parties on board for the bill.
Absolutely. And, you know, T.S. Sudhir, a unilateral decision by the central government will also alienate its voters in the state. The Congress anyway is finding itself isolated.
Absolutely. In fact, the Congress has dug its own grave as far as the Seemandra region is concerned. In fact, since July 30, we have been seeing widespread protests in the 13 districts of the Seemandra region, and that is someone like Jagan Mohan Reddy is trying to capitalize on, campaigning in the Seemandra districts to ensure that he gains electorally from this resentment against the Congress decision. But yes, as Mr. Prabhakar was pointing out, if the sense of the House is against the formation of Telangana, that is something that the centre and many political parties in Parliament will have to take note of. But this is something again that the Congress was aware all along, that the House is divided in Andhra Pradesh, the people, the politicians are divided. So whether the fact that they actually went ahead with bifurcation of the state decision shows that the Congress really wanted to ensure that electorally at least it gains the maximum in the 17 Lok Sabha seats in Telangana region.
All right. Thanks so much, T.S. Sudhir and Mr. Prabhakar, for taking us through details of that story. We'll continue tracking developments on the Telangana tangle.